My name's Neil Trundle. I've been with the company this time round since 1985, and I was involved with Ron Dennis in the previous company, Project 4. At the end of '87, Ron Dennis said to me, would I be chief mechanic? And he said, we've got Honda for '88, and we've got Ayrton joining from Lotus. It's also well documented that the '88 car was a phenomenal car. It had good tyres, it had the two best drivers, it had the best engine, the chassis was fantastic. And again, it's well recorded that we finished the car late and went to Imola, and we were 1.5, 2 seconds quicker than the opposition had tested. We went to Brazil, to Rio, so the race was at Rio then, in '88, and of course Ayrton was on pole. You see, when Ayrton tightened up the seat belts and got his head down for pole, on a one lap there was no one to beat him. He was phenomenal. Where it came from, but it was just instinctive, and he would be the first to say that. He just let his body react and use every bit of the track. He took chances. He knew, as he often said, on a qualifying lap, if anything went wrong, you know, it was risky, but he was right on the edge. Alain was a little bit more cautious. Alain was a great racer, you know, the professor, but in qualifying Ayrton was on it. So he was on pole, home race, and on the start line, he did the parade lap, came up to the start line, put it in gear to do the green flag lap to the start. As he came to the start, just put it in neutral, waiting for the lights, put it in gear, and the gear lever broke in his hand. So he put his hand up and there was massive panic. Ron Dennis jumped over the barrier with Barry Autohan, and they tried to cut away and see what was wrong, but they couldn't. So Ayrton leapt out the car, they wheeled it off, the lights went out, the race started. Ayrton meanwhile ran over in the garage to get the spare car, went out the pits last. Within 5 or 6 laps he was picking off the back markers, and I think he could have won the race. He was just on fire, you know, when you see that in drivers when they get this last bit of determination, but he was on it, and then they black flagged him because he'd started from the pit lane. So that was the first home Grand Prix that he didn't get. '90 was the first race in Sao Paulo, and that will stay in my memory forever because he was on pole in his hometown, sitting on the grid, and the crowd, you could feel the ground moving, chanting, right next to us. They were at the fence and we were working on the car. You couldn't hear anything. It was phenomenal, and you know, the hair stood up in the back of your neck. Lovely atmosphere. So it wasn't till '91 that he got his first home win, and he did the last 10 laps with 6th gear, and it started to rain, and Patrese was catching him, but the more rain came down, he started to get away from Patrese, just with 1 gear.